Chosen one, lock your attention on my voice right now. You are completely right about what just happened. That specific person walked away from your life suddenly. The atmosphere in your home feels incredibly strange today. It feels cold and deeply unsettling, but I promise that you are not imagining this heavy shift. What you are currently sensing in the room is absolutely real. They left you sitting in the silent dark. You replay every single conversation in your tired head. You constantly wonder what you did so wrong, but their sudden departure was not a normal human choice, because it was a massive spiritual intervention. Heaven stepped in and completely recalibrated the plan for your life. God moved his hand to pull them away. I am confirming this divine action to you today. There is a specific reason they suddenly abandoned you. They were quietly building a toxic trap behind your back, and your spirit picked up what your eyes could not see. You have a powerful radar inside your soul. This radar makes you deeply misunderstood by worldly people. Please do not click away from this message. Stay with me until the very end, because I am going to reveal the exact trap they prepared. I will show you exactly why heaven had to cut the cord immediately. I will also give you the precise declaration that seals your permanent spiritual freedom. I know exactly how your house feels right now. The silence in the rooms is incredibly loud. You walk down the hallway and everything feels completely foreign. The air is thick, and it feels like a heavy fog is pressing against your skin. You look at the empty spaces where they used to stand. A massive wave of pure loneliness hits your chest hard. You sit on the bed and stare at the blank wall. You replay the final conversation in your mind. You search for the exact moment you ruined everything. You think you were simply too much for them to handle. They called you too sensitive, and you actually believed their harsh words. You wonder if your intense feelings drove them away, so you try to shrink your massive spirit to figure out your mistakes. But the painful emotional math never adds up for you. They called your emotions irrational. They made you question your own basic sanity, while you gave them absolutely everything you had inside your deep soul. You poured endless love into a cup with a giant hole at the bottom. And when you finally asked for a tiny drop of respect, they called you selfish. The sheer injustice of their accusation burns your tired heart. You feel completely broken and totally exhausted today. You are the designated healer for broken people. You naturally absorb the heavy pain of everyone around you. People come to you when their lives are falling apart, but the moment you need a safe harbor, the room gets entirely empty. This specific person consumed your bright light for their own survival. They fed on your beautiful empathy until you felt totally empty, and then they blamed you for the dark. You are crying for an illusion they carefully painted for you. You miss the fake version of them that they promised you, but your deep spiritual intuition always sensed the hidden truth. You felt the quiet lies hovering in the air between you. You ignored your own internal alarm bells because you wanted to see their good heart. You compromised your own spiritual safety to keep them comfortable. You are trapped in a cycle of heavy guilt. You think their sudden departure is a massive punishment, and you believe heaven left you alone in this strange, cold atmosphere. You feel completely disqualified from receiving true love. The enemy wants you to sit in this dark corner forever. He wants you to regret the beautiful sensitivity God gave you. Do not let the dark realm steal your true identity. I see your silent tears. You are carrying a massive wound that you did not deserve. But this profound pain is actually the beginning of your rescue. Before you go any further, gently press the like button so this blessing can reach someone else who feels isolated today. We need to stand together because you are not the only chosen one fighting this lonely midnight battle right now. Let me completely reframe your spiritual reality right now. The pain you feel today is a lie wrapped in an illusion. You think you were coldly rejected by someone you deeply loved. The enemy desperately wants you to feel like a discarded object, and he wants you to believe that your intense love was completely wasted. But heaven operates on a completely different system of truth. This person did not simply decide to walk away from you. Their sudden departure was a forced spiritual eviction. God watched them slowly drain your beautiful energy in the dark, and he saw the toxic traps they were quietly setting for your kind soul. And heaven finally said that enough was enough. The Creator physically removed them from your sacred space to protect your life. I need you to hear this absolute truth today. You were never rejected. You were divinely redirected. What is suddenly leaving your life is simply making room for what is meant for you. The universe never makes random mistakes with your specific calling. You are a highly guarded asset in the unseen realm, and God will violently disrupt your comfort to save your divine assignment. Look at the ancient story of Joseph from the scriptures. His own brothers threw him into a deep, dark pit. They stole his colorful coat and walked away without looking back. Joseph sat in that cold dirt, feeling utterly betrayed by his own blood. He cried in the dark and wondered why God allowed such terrible rejection while his heart was completely shattered into tiny pieces. But that dark pit was absolutely not his final grave. The cruel betrayal was actually a massive spiritual setup. Heaven used their wicked actions to safely transport Joseph to Egypt, and God had to remove him from his toxic family to position him for the throne. If his brothers had never rejected him, he would have never saved the entire known world from starving. The person who just walked away from you was exactly like that pit. They truly thought they were breaking you and leaving you behind. But heaven used their cruel exit to aggressively push you forward. Your current profound isolation is not evidence of your disqualification. It is the absolute highest evidence of your sacred selection, because God is positioning you for the throne right now. You cannot carry a holy mandate while holding on to a toxic person. A precious vessel cannot be used for a sacred task if it is filled with poison. God had to empty your house of their heavy, dark energy. He is stripping away the toxic validation you used to desperately crave. And this sudden emptiness is just making beautiful room for his massive glory to enter your life. They were a loud, static noise blocking your spiritual vision. Their constant, endless drama kept you completely distracted from your true calling. Heaven literally had to cut the cord because you were too loyal to leave them. You would have stayed and let them destroy your bright light. So God intervened and made them walk away to save your beautiful soul from total ruin. You must stop crying over the firmly locked door. The Creator locked that specific door from the inside for your own good. He locked it so they cannot return and steal your fragile peace again. Every time you try to turn the handle, you are fighting against your own rescue, because heaven already decided they do not belong in your future. Step back and look at the massive space their sudden absence just created in your tired life. The strange atmosphere in your home is not a curse. The heavy silence is actually the sound of a toxic chain finally breaking. You are breathing clean air for the very first time in months. The massive weight is lifting because the person carrying the darkness is completely gone. Let the profound relief wash over your tired bones right now, while you realize you are finally safe from their hidden games. This divine redirection is the ultimate proof of your massive calling. The enemy wanted to keep you tethered to a spiritual vampire forever, but heaven aggressively stepped in and severed the dark connection. You are now completely free to absorb the pure frequency of the Holy Spirit. And once you truly understand the dangerous trap you just escaped, your entire perspective on this painful isolation will suddenly shift. The absolute truth about the narcissist is deeply disturbing. They are not just people with difficult human personalities. They are literal spiritual voids, walking around looking for massive light to consume. You carry a brilliant light inside your chest. They saw your bright empathy from miles away, and they knew you would freely give them your precious energy because your heart is completely pure. A narcissist operates like a dark, bottomless pit. You can pour endless love into them every single day. You can sacrifice your own mental health to keep them happy and stable. But they will never be full because a spiritual void cannot hold pure love. They just consume your light until you are completely exhausted. And then they angrily demand even more from your empty soul. This is exactly why heaven had to intervene violently. This is the specific reason I promised to reveal to you at the very beginning. God saw you slowly dying inside their invisible cage. He watched you make endless excuses for their terrible daily behavior. You were totally ready to sacrifice your massive destiny just to fix a broken person who did not want to be healed. The Creator could not allow his chosen vessel to be destroyed. You are carrying a massive mandate for the kingdom of heaven. You are a breakthrough prophet assigned to shatter ancient generational chains. But a prophet cannot fight massive spiritual battles when a toxic vampire is constantly draining their blood. Heaven violently cut the dark cord because your holy assignment is vastly more important than their fragile ego. The enemy sent that specific person to ground you permanently. He knew he could not defeat you in a fair spiritual fight. So he sent a wounded person wrapped in a sad story to trigger your deep empathy. He weaponized your beautiful compassion against you. He knew you would never abandon a hurting soul, so he used your greatest strength as a terrible weapon to completely destroy your daily peace. But God completely outsmarted the dark realm again. He used the enemy's own trap to forge your ultimate spiritual discernment. You learned how to spot the subtle red flags hidden behind fake smiles. The painful experience forced you to build incredibly strong boundaries for your fragile heart. You did not lose anything valuable when they walked away. You actually gained massive spiritual territory back. Think about the heavy fog that used to fill your tired mind. When they were constantly around you, you could hardly think clearly. You felt deeply confused and totally drained all the time. That heavy fog was the direct result of their toxic energy mixing with your pure, holy light. The narcissist literally feeds on the chaotic drama they constantly create in your peaceful daily life. God removed them so the heavy fog would finally clear. He needed your mind sharp and your spirit totally alert for the coming season. You cannot hear the subtle whispers of the Holy Spirit when someone is constantly screaming for your immediate attention. Your profound isolation right now is the necessary detox period. Your beautiful soul is actively purging the heavy toxic residue they left behind in your sacred space. Every single day you spend away from them is a massive victory. Your physical body is slowly recovering from the intense spiritual trauma. You will begin to notice your deep sleep returning naturally very soon. Your natural joy will bubble up from the dry places inside your tired heart. This is what total spiritual freedom feels like when the heavy chains finally hit the hard floor. The narcissist walked away because they could no longer control you. They sensed the divine protection forming heavily around your changing life. Demonic entities cannot stay long in a room filled with pure, holy fire. The burning light of your awakened soul literally pushed them out the door. They left because the rising heat of your true spiritual identity became completely unbearable for their dark shadows. You must completely stop mourning their sudden exit today. Do not chase after a plague that God just cured for you. Stand firm in the massive empty space they left behind, and thank heaven for the brutal but necessary spiritual surgery. Your precious heart is finally safe from their dark, endless demands. But there is a massive secret hidden inside your own sensitivity that they accidentally uncovered. The narcissist was deeply drawn to you because of a specific vibration you carry. They targeted you because you possess a highly advanced spiritual tool. Coming up in just a moment, I will reveal exactly what this tool is. I will show you how to use this powerful internal radar. But first, this absolute truth about their toxic energy must land deep in your spirit, settling like solid, heavy bedrock. Here is the exact specific tool I promised to explain. The narcissist was deeply drawn to your incredible sensitivity. They realized quickly that you were a rare and powerful empath. Your intense feelings are absolutely not a human weakness at all, because they are actually a highly advanced spiritual radar. This radar detects hidden motives and unseen shifts in the heavy atmosphere around you. People have called you completely crazy your entire life, and they said you were far too sensitive and overly emotional. The toxic person weaponized those exact same labels against you. They wanted you to believe that your deep emotions were a terrible sickness. They needed you to feel broken so they could easily control your massive spirit. But they were entirely wrong about you. You are not overly sensitive and you are not broken. You were simply built for a totally different divine frequency. Your soul operates on a much higher spiritual plane than normal people. When you walk into a crowded room, your radar immediately scans the unseen environment. You can instantly feel the heavy demonic energy that regular people completely ignore every single day. This is precisely why you always felt so deeply misunderstood. You were living in a shallow world while carrying the deep ocean inside your chest. The narcissist absolutely hated your powerful radar because it constantly exposed their dark lies, and they could easily fool normal people with a fake, charming smile. But your spirit always felt the sharp, jagged edges of their deception. Your strong intuition kept sounding loud alarms inside your tired mind. You felt incredibly anxious around them for a very good reason. Your physical body was actively warning you about the toxic spiritual poison they carried. They tried to make you ignore your own internal compass by calling you paranoid. They desperately wanted to blind your radar so they could hide in the dark. But a massive divine radar cannot be turned off by worldly manipulation. Heaven installed this specific sensitivity inside you for a sacred purpose, and you need this profound empathy to heal the broken souls assigned to your future path. A numb and cold prophet cannot bring true breakthrough to a hurting generation. Your deep, intense feelings are actually your greatest spiritual weapons. God allowed you to experience their toxic darkness to sharpen your holy discernment. You now know exactly what pure evil feels like when it enters a room, so you will never be easily fooled by a fake, charming smile ever again. The painful experience perfectly calibrated your spiritual antenna. You can now distinguish between the voice of heaven and the deceptive whispers of hell. The heavy weight on your chest was the intense friction of your radar fighting their lies. Now that they are completely gone, your antenna is finally receiving pure signals, and the terrible static noise is completely gone from your sacred space. You are starting to hear the clear and beautiful voice of the Holy Spirit. He is whispering profound truths directly into your recovering soul today. You must stop apologizing for the immense depth of your own spirit. You want to judge and put jumply holding massive divine secrets. If your deep waters intimidate worldly people, let them stay securely on the dry shore. You do not need to shrink your massive tidal waves to keep small boats feeling comfortable anymore. Your profound sensitivity is the exact reason heaven chose you. You feel things deeply because God feels things deeply. You are literally carrying the massive heartbeat of the Creator inside your own chest, and this is a tremendous honor and a beautiful heavy mantle. The narcissist tried to steal this precious mantle, but heaven intervened and completely protected your divine inheritance forever. You are actively stepping into the brilliant light of your true calling. You are rapidly evolving from a misunderstood empath into a powerful breakthrough prophet. The enemy completely failed to destroy your massive spiritual capacity, and he only managed to polish the sharp blade of your holy discernment. You are now entirely equipped to navigate the unseen realm with absolute, bold confidence. Now your spiritual radar is fully active and incredibly strong. You are ready to detect the pure frequency of your true assignment. But there is a massive energetic shift happening right now that explains why they had to run away, because the frequency of your life is rising extremely fast. And coming up next, I will reveal exactly why their dark spirit could not survive your brand new light. The unseen spiritual realm operates purely on frequencies. Everything is entirely driven by invisible vibrations. When you were deeply wounded in the past, Your personal frequency was incredibly low. The narcissist loved this low vibration because it matched their own dark energy perfectly. They comfortably fed on your deep pain and your heavy trauma, but heaven started pouring fresh holy light into your tired soul. You started healing in the quiet, private moments. Your internal frequency began to rise very rapidly. The heavy spiritual fog started to lift from your mind. The toxic person immediately felt this massive energetic shift. They realized they could no longer control your beautiful mind. A dark spirit absolutely cannot survive in a highly oxygenated spiritual room. Your rising holy light became a literal threat to their dark existence. They tried their hardest to pull you back down into the mud. They created sudden chaotic drama to lower your vibration again. They desperately needed you completely confused and totally exhausted, but your awakened spirit refused to sink back into the dark shadows. You firmly held your new holy ground. This is exactly why their daily behavior became incredibly erratic right before they suddenly left. They were literally suffocating in your brand new atmosphere. They had to violently escape your pure light just to spiritually survive. The people pulling away from you are not rejecting you today. They are simply sensing a powerful frequency they cannot yet understand. They are actually grieving the old weak version of you they used to control. They see the rising breakthrough prophet, and they feel pure terror. You did absolutely nothing wrong when you focused on your own healing. God used your rising frequency as a massive divine broom. The pure, holy light literally swept the toxic energy right out your front door. You did not even have to fight them physically. Your pure, powerful presence fought the entire spiritual battle for you. The narcissist was simply violently ejected by the heavy atmosphere of heaven. This is the massive, undeniable power of an awakened chosen one. Your personal energy field becomes an impenetrable fortress of pure light. Demonic entities literally bounce right off your heavy spiritual armor. They quickly run away looking for much easier worldly targets. They know they cannot penetrate the thick walls of your new divine boundaries. You must never lower your holy frequency just to make someone stay. If a person cannot breathe in your pure spiritual atmosphere, they absolutely do not belong in your beautiful future. Let them walk away quietly without any desperate chase. You are a highly guarded treasure, and heaven is currently sorting your relationships for your safety. You are being meticulously prepared for high-altitude spiritual assignments. Only people carrying the exact same divine frequency can climb this steep mountain with you. The air up here is incredibly thin, but it is totally pure. God is actively bringing new souls who match your beautiful new vibration. You will not have to beg them to understand your deep heart. The strange, sudden peace you feel right now is the ultimate validation from heaven. Your physical body is finally relaxing after long, exhausting years of intense spiritual war. The heavy static noise is completely gone from your daily life. The pure divine signal is incredibly clear, and you can finally hear God whispering again. You successfully survived the ultimate test of your spiritual boundaries. The enemy clearly realizes he cannot use toxic relationships to drain your massive energy anymore. Your bright light is permanently locked in the upright position. The dark realm lost their best undercover agent in your life. You are completely victorious, and you did not even have to throw a single punch. But there is a much deeper layer to this massive divine protection. God was not just removing a bad person from your current daily life. He was actively destroying a massive hidden trap. The enemy carefully planted a dangerous snare waiting quietly in your near future. Heaven had to act aggressively to keep your feet totally safe from the dark snare. Coming up in just a moment, I will fully expose the exact trap the enemy set for your soul. I will show you the hidden danger you completely avoided. But first, let this profound truth about your rising frequency land deeply in your tired spirit. You are entirely safe, and you are heavily protected. Here is the exact hidden trap I promised to expose to you. The enemy was playing a very long and dangerous game with your precious life. He knew that your ultimate spiritual breakthrough was rapidly approaching, so he planted this toxic person in your path as a permanent roadblock. He wanted to create an unbreakable soul tie to drain your energy forever. If heaven had not aggressively intervened, you would have married that specific chaos. You would have tied your massive prophetic destiny to a dead spiritual anchor. The narcissist was specifically assigned to silence your powerful voice before you ever reached the big stage. They were a carefully constructed cage designed for a growing giant. God saw the invisible chains they were preparing for your future. He looked down the timeline of your life and saw the terrible destruction. He saw you completely exhausted and totally silenced by their constant daily manipulation. The Creator loved you far too much to let you walk blindly into a permanent dark prison cell. This is the profound, invisible protection you are currently experiencing. You cried when they walked away because you thought you lost a massive blessing, but you were actually weeping over the sudden loss of a deadly spiritual parasite. Heaven violently broke the heavy snare, and the trapped bird completely escaped the dangerous hunter. You have absolutely no idea how many invisible arrows God deflected from your chest. While you were peacefully sleeping, angelic forces were fighting massive battles to keep your mind completely intact. The enemy tried to send financial ruin and total mental breakdown through that toxic relationship, but the shield of heaven absorbed every single dark blow. The atmosphere feels strange right now because the intense spiritual warfare has finally stopped. The heavy artillery is no longer firing constantly around your fragile home. You are standing in the quiet aftermath of a massive, invisible victory. You did not even have to lift a single sword to win this brutal war. The Lord fought it entirely for you. Every lie they told about you was completely recorded and judged by the highest court. You do not need to defend your precious reputation to anyone in this worldly realm. God is your ultimate vindicator, and He is clearing your name in the unseen spiritual world. The people who matter will absolutely see the pure, radiant truth of your beautiful soul. You survived things that would have permanently destroyed a normal human mind. The enemy tried his absolute best to eliminate you early. He wanted to crush the breakthrough prophet before you ever woke up to your true divine authority. But the heavy mantle of heaven protected your mind in the darkest valleys, keeping you perfectly preserved for this moment. You must understand the massive scale of the danger you just avoided. If they had stayed, your powerful spiritual gifts would have been completely buried under their endless demands. You would have spent the next 10 years trying to fix a person who secretly hated your holy light. Heaven saved you decades of profound, unnecessary agony. Your future spouse and your future children are completely safe now. You broke the toxic generational cycle before it could infect the next innocent generation. Your sudden isolation is actually a massive protective wall built firmly around your bloodline. You suffered the temporary heartbreak to secure total permanent freedom for everyone coming after you. You are walking in total divine safety right now. The traps are completely broken, and the spiritual hunters are running away in absolute terror. They cannot touch the anointed chosen one when the pillar of holy fire stands directly in the way. You are entirely hidden in the secret place of the Most High God, and no toxic person can reach you there. The painful chapter of intense spiritual abuse is officially closed forever. You will never have to endure that specific demonic assignment again. God has permanently revoked their access to your precious holy energy. You are totally free to breathe the clean air of the highest spiritual mountains. Your powerful lungs are expanding with fresh grace. But even with all this massive divine protection, you are still hurting deeply. Your logical mind understands the absolute truth, but your tired heart is still weeping quietly in the dark. There is a specific reason you are still mourning a toxic relationship you just escaped. The enemy is entirely gone, but a massive hidden block remains inside you. This invisible block is making you suffer unnecessarily right now. It keeps pulling your thoughts back to the person who almost destroyed your massive destiny. Coming up in just a moment, I will gently expose this hidden root so you can finally be totally free. But first, let the profound reality of your invisible protection settle deep into your spirit. You logically know that heaven protected you from a massive disaster. Your awakened soul completely understands that the toxic person had to leave. But even with all this profound clarity, your human heart is still aching. You sit in the quiet room and wipe away hot tears every single day. The enemy is entirely gone from your daily life right now, but a silent, invisible block remains securely hidden inside your mind. And here is the hard part that nobody wants to say out loud. I say this to you with absolutely nothing but pure divine love. This is not a harsh accusation against your deeply weary spirit. It is the loving spiritual diagnosis that will finally set you free. The thing quietly blocking your ultimate healing is not the devil anymore, because the dark realm already lost their absolute grip on your life. The hidden obstacle keeping you trapped in the shadows is your own memory. You are actively mourning the sudden loss of a terrible spiritual prison. You painted the cold iron bars with beautiful bright colors in your mind. You convinced yourself that the tiny cage was actually a massive palace because you desperately wanted to believe they truly loved you. But you are crying over a fake illusion that never existed. You spent months or even years trying to decorate a cold, dark cell. You gave them your pure energy to make the toxic environment feel warm. And now that the cage door is finally wide open, you refuse to fly away. You are standing outside the open door looking backward with deep regret. God physically dragged you out of the burning building to save you, but you are still crying because you miss the familiar warm fire. This is the profound spiritual deception of the dark realm. The enemy trains you to become entirely comfortable with constant chaotic drama. He creates a toxic environment where terrible anxiety feels perfectly normal to you. So when heaven finally brings you into a season of pure, holy peace, the sudden quiet atmosphere actually makes you feel incredibly panicked. You confuse the beautiful divine peace with terrifying, lonely isolation. You are waiting for the other shoe to suddenly drop. You expect a massive argument because that was your daily, normal routine. But God is asking you to completely stop waiting for the chaos to return. You must command your nervous system to accept this beautiful, holy silence. You are completely safe now, and the invisible spiritual war in your home is permanently over. The toxic person planted a very dangerous lie deep inside your chest. They made you believe that your intense sensitivity was the root problem. They convinced you that nobody else would ever tolerate your massive spirit. You secretly fear that their cruel words were actually the absolute truth. You think they walked away because you are fundamentally broken and unlovable. I need you to utterly destroy that specific lie right now. You are not fundamentally broken, and you are never unlovable to heaven. The narcissist did not leave because you were lacking any valuable human traits. They ran away because your massive holy frequency was blinding their dark eyes. Your intense sensitivity is the exact beautiful radar that God engineered perfectly. You keep waiting for them to return and offer a genuine apology. You think a human apology will finally bring you the closure you need, but a spiritual vampire will never apologize for draining your precious holy blood. They will only return if they think they can consume your light again. You must completely stop waiting for closure from a deeply broken person. The profound silence they left behind is your ultimate divine closure. The sudden locked door is the only firm answer you will ever need. God is refusing to give you an explanation because the rescue is enough. You do not need to understand their dark motives to accept your freedom. You just need to walk boldly away from the burning prison completely. Every single time you check their status or look at old pictures, you rebuild the cage. You voluntarily hand the enemy the heavy keys to your peaceful mind. Heaven violently cut the thick spiritual cord to save your tired soul, but you keep trying to tie the broken energetic string back together. You are actively fighting against the massive holy angels assigned to protect you. You must completely forgive yourself for being fooled by their fake light. It is normal to feel totally overwhelmed by the massive scale of their deception. God is not angry with you for trusting a deeply broken human being. He knows your pure, compassionate heart always wants to heal the wounded souls, but you cannot sacrifice your divine calling to save a toxic rebel. The season for looking backward is officially over today. The protective intervention has served its massive purpose, and you must accept it. You can no longer pretend that the toxic prison was a safe place. You are a chosen vessel carrying the heavy frequency of the Creator, and you must drop the heavy illusion that keeps you emotionally trapped here. Release the desperate need to fix the people who actively hurt you. Release the quiet fear that your intense spirit chased true love away. Your intense spirit is the exact weapon heaven designed to shatter ancient curses. You are perfectly engineered to handle the massive, pure love of God, and you are totally safe in the hands of the Holy Creator today. The painful isolation you felt was just the final test of your heart. It was testing your willingness to surrender your heavy past to the fire. You survived the intense heat, and you passed the lonely midnight test. Now you must make the conscious choice to stop holding the heavy chains. You cannot walk into the promised land while carrying the heavy prison door. Heaven is offering you a brand new garment of pure, bright light. But you cannot wear the royal robe while clinging to dirty prison clothes. You must aggressively strip off the victim mentality they forced you to wear. You are a massive breakthrough prophet who just escaped a tiny dark cage. It is time to stretch your massive wings and learn to fly again. The atmosphere in your home is ready to be completely claimed by you. You have the ultimate authority to fill the empty space with holy worship. The silence is not a punishment, but a blank canvas for your new life. You get to decide exactly what frequency operates inside your sacred home now. The enemy has absolutely no legal right to torment your memories anymore. And now comes the pivotal moment where every single thing permanently shifts. You have heard the absolute truth about your massive, unseen divine protection. You understand that the sudden, painful departure was a violent, holy rescue mission. The heavy truth has completely exposed the dark lie hidden in your heart. Now you must actively participate in your own ultimate spiritual release today. This is your moment. It is not happening tomorrow or next week. It is happening right now in this exact second. You have survived the darkest nights and the deepest isolation. You have carried the heavy weight when nobody else could see your silent tears. But the season of carrying the crushing burden of their toxic energy is officially over tonight. I want you to do something highly specific right now. Place your right hand firmly over your own heart. Feel the steady rhythm of your own life beating inside your chest. That heartbeat is absolute proof that heaven is not finished with you yet. The enemy tried his hardest to stop that pulse through their daily manipulation, but he failed entirely. Take a very deep breath and hold it for just a moment. Now exhale completely. Let that breath push out the heavy exhaustion of the toxic relationship. You are about to speak the words that shatter every invisible chain. Say this out loud with me right now. I completely release the desperate need to be understood by the narcissist. I release every single agreement I made with fear, smallness, and guilt. I will no longer apologize for the intense fire burning inside my soul. The sudden separation I endured was divine redirection, and I accept it fully. I drop the heavy mask of false humility that kept me trapped in their dark prison for so many long years. Keep your hand firmly on your heart. Say this next part with absolute authority. I am not a broken victim struggling to barely breathe after their rejection. I am a chosen breakthrough prophet carrying the heavy frequency of heaven. The relational warfare did not destroy my mind. It purified my spirit and activated my ultimate calling. I take back every piece of spiritual energy they stole from my life. I am the designated cycle breaker. Now seal the decree with these final powerful words. My breakthrough is absolutely not coming in the distant future. My ultimate breakthrough is already here right now. I command the heavy atmosphere in my home to submit to the pure light of Christ. I step fully into my sacred assignment today. I am entirely chosen, and I am exactly where I am supposed to be. I will never shrink my massive spirit to fit a shallow room ever again. Let those powerful words settle deep into your physical bones. The massive weight that sat on your chest when they walked away is completely shattered. It is gone. You do not have to carry the heavy anxiety of their memory anymore. You just spoke a literal earthquake into the unseen spiritual realm. The demonic entities that used to control the relationship are currently fleeing in absolute terror because you finally realized your true identity. You are entirely free. The dark prison doors of the narcissist are wide open and the heavy chains are broken on the floor. You can finally breathe the pure air of the highest spiritual mountains. Do you feel the sudden lightness in your tired shoulders? That is the immediate result of claiming your rightful place in the kingdom. Heaven is completely rejoicing over your beautiful awakening tonight. You are standing in the brilliant light of total grace. Everything coming toward you now is going to look completely different. The people who belong in your new season will naturally gravitate toward your bright light. You will not have to force connections or beg for basic validation from toxic people ever again. Your pure frequency will automatically attract the exact resources and the right souls needed for your massive assignment. The prison is fully behind you now. The promised land is right under your feet. The declaration you just made echoed backward and forward through time. Your ancestors, who suffered under heavy generational curses of abuse, just felt the massive shockwave of your freedom. Your future children will never have to fight the specific relational demons you just defeated today. You secured their absolute freedom by standing firmly in the midnight fire. This is the ultimate power of the breakthrough prophet. You suffered a short season to save generations. If you are crying right now, do not try to stop the tears. Those tears are not a sign of worldly weakness or regret for the narcissist. They are the holy waters washing away the heavy residue of your past trauma. Let the healing water flow freely down your face. Every single tear is baptizing you into your brand new prophetic identity. You are washing off the dirt of the dark valley so you can wear the pure white robes of your divine calling. The next time you walk through your home, the entire experience will be fundamentally different. You will not look at the empty spaces and feel panicked or crushed by heavy loneliness. You will open your eyes and feel the massive presence of the Holy Spirit sitting right beside you. You will smile in the quiet rooms because you finally understand the sacred invitation. You will sit up with a bold posture and quietly thank God for your rescue. The dark, quiet home will no longer feel like a terrifying isolation zone. It will feel like the most exclusive throne room in the entire universe. You will speak into the silence, and the atmosphere will immediately shift at your quiet command. This is the profound difference between a confused victim and an activated warrior. The empty space has officially become your sacred training facility. You own the atmosphere now. Some divine messages do not just inform your mind, they actively recalibrate your entire soul. And if something massive stirred deep inside your spirit just now, you know this truth is absolutely real. If you felt these powerful words land in a place that normal human language usually cannot reach, then your activation is fully complete. But this profound breakthrough is not meant to be kept as a selfish secret. There is someone else out there who is still sitting in the terrifying dark of an abusive relationship. They are walking through their home right now, and they are begging God for a tiny shred of hope after being abandoned. They feel completely crazy and totally isolated. They think the heavy pressure on their chest is going to slowly kill them. You know exactly how that crushing desperation feels, because you lived in that exact same dark hole for years. You hold the specific key to their immediate freedom. Heaven activated your powerful spirit today so you could reach back and pull them out of the burning fire. This is how the chosen ones actually change the world. We do not build massive, loud platforms to boost our own worldly egos. We quietly share the pure light with the broken souls who are still trapped in the agonizing relational warfare. Your assignment begins today. The season of painful preparation is officially complete. You are not the exact same person who started watching this message. The heavy chains of your painful past are lying totally broken on the floor right now, and you cannot walk backward into a life you have completely outgrown. Your sacred assignment starts today. You must step into the brilliant light because the long waiting period is finished forever. Tomorrow morning is going to feel entirely different for your soul. When you wake up, the old heavy dread will not be waiting for you in the dark. You will open your eyes and feel a profound sense of divine peace settling directly over your mind. The air in your physical home will feel instantly lighter. The unseen atmosphere has already shifted in your ultimate favor, and the heavy spiritual resistance that ruined your mornings is permanently gone. Do not let the enemy try to convince you this was just an emotional moment. He will inevitably try to whisper his tired old lies when things get quiet again, but his desperate words carry absolutely no weight in your life anymore. You know exactly who you are now. You are a breakthrough prophet, and you hold the permanent keys to your own spiritual freedom, while the enemy completely loses his tight grip. Every single tear you cried in the midnight hour was carefully collected by heaven. God saw the immense lonely suffering you endured in total secret. He watched you push bravely through the agonizing pain when nobody else cared, and he is incredibly proud of your resilient spirit today. You survived the intense, fiery crucible. You kept your beautiful, soft heart entirely intact, despite the overwhelming heat. The world desperately needs the pure, holy frequency you carry right now. There are broken people walking around who need your specific voice to heal them. You do not have to search endlessly for your divine purpose anymore. Your massive purpose will naturally find you as you walk confidently in the light, because heaven is actively directing your every single step today. God is carefully placing you exactly where your power is needed most. The intense spiritual radar you possess is a beautiful and necessary gift. It is no longer a bleeding wound that drains your precious physical energy. You will use this deep empathy to detect exactly where God is moving in any room, and you will walk into chaotic situations to bring sudden divine order. This is the massive restorative power of the Anointed Ones. You will wield this immense authority with absolute grace. Do not rush to fix every broken person around you immediately. You must guard your newly activated spirit carefully in this early, fragile season. Let your divine light shine naturally without forcefully pushing the process. The right souls will be inexplicably drawn to your peaceful, steady energy. You are a beautiful, steady lighthouse standing firm on the solid rock, and the lost ships will automatically navigate toward your brilliant, glowing light. The massive spiritual downloads will absolutely continue to flow into your mind, but they will no longer crush your tired chest with heavy worldly pressure. You will seamlessly receive divine strategies with total clarity and immense joy, because God is going to reveal profound ancient mysteries to you in the coming days. Pay close attention to the quiet whispers in your daily life. Heaven speaks loudest when your soul is completely at peace. Remember that you are completely protected by the sacred power of the Creator. No evil weapon formed against your awakened spirit will ever prosper again. The dark entities that used to terrorize your fragile sleep are totally powerless against your new identity. You have the ultimate authority to command the atmosphere in your home. You are heavily guarded by angelic forces, and they actively surround your bed while you safely rest in the absolute peace of the Lord. If this profound word met you in the exact place you needed it today, do not leave without sealing the massive shift. Please share this powerful message with someone who has also been called too sensitive their entire life. Share it directly with the person who always gives too much and receives far too little. They are sitting in the dark wilderness wondering if they are completely crazy. Your simple action of sharing this could be the exact lifeline they desperately need right now. Make sure you carefully subscribe and turn on all notifications today. You absolutely need to stay connected to this specific pure frequency. The world will constantly try to pull you back into the noisy chaos, and the enemy desperately wants you isolated from the sacred truth. We are building a massive sanctuary for the chosen ones here. You will never have to walk this holy path alone again while you navigate your prophetic calling. You have officially crossed over the difficult spiritual threshold. The intense isolation was truly hard, but the glorious reward is absolutely worth every single tear. You are stepping into a season of immense spiritual abundance and profound clarity. The heavy veil of confusion has been permanently lifted from your tired eyes. You see the divine reality perfectly now, and the beautiful truth brings immense joy to your recovering spirit. As this sacred message comes to a close, I want to release a final powerful blessing over your life. May the absolute peace of God guard your beautiful mind forever. May your spiritual eyes remain wide open to the glorious realities of heaven. May your steady voice carry the heavy weight of glory wherever you go. You are deeply loved, and you must always remember that you are never truly walking alone in this massive divine journey. The lonely wilderness is finally over. The promised land is unfolding beautifully right in front of your open eyes. Step forward with bold confidence and unapologetic faith. Your future self is cheering you on from the other side of this massive breakthrough. Sleep incredibly well tonight, chosen one. The long, heavy battle is already won.